content creators are the next big entrepreneurs of the world. These are people that have had to hustle from nothing and build it from nothing. I mean, if anyone knows the hustle of an entrepreneur, it's a content creator.
You got to just press record.
Man, I'm so excited to be talking with Harris from Senpai Gaming, an incredible channel. If you follow Think Media, you probably have come across his stuff because YouTube recommendation. They know the audience. They're trying to serve it up. But I'm excited to talk about this super creative and unheard of way that you have chosen to monetize your channel. And this is just one of the ways. You know, obviously, we like to teach the various ways, but this is something I really think that breaking it down and kind of sharing your journey on how you got here. But essentially speaking, you created royalty-free music for streamers. But let's kind of back up. What is your channel's value proposition, and then how did you see that problem with your audience?
Well, the channel was all about helping people set up a live stream, right? So I started this channel back when nobody had anything more than a Logitech C920, a $70 webcam or whatever, and what inspired it actually was the overlays were abysmal. And I came from the YouTube music video production world. Like, oh, I have something of value to share with these people. So let me do what I do. And I even look back on my old videos. I'm like, what was I thinking? I think everybody does that. But it was supposed to be a channel for, hey, here are these people who don't know how production works, trying to produce something live. Let me share with them. Let me be a resource for them. And so that took off, and that's what I did. I mean, that's what I still do.
Yeah. And then so how far along the way did you find that like this was something you wanted to pursue? Like actually go into a studio, start creating songs and music, and then even how you release that. Kind of talk about that.
Yeah, well, actually, the crazy thing is very little of the music that we released was produced ourselves. I released the first release of Streambeats, just as a background, a refresher course. Streambeats is a copyright-free music library for live streamers and YouTubers.
Boom.
And we have right now about 1,500 tracks over 16 genres or whatever, and my first drop was 180 tracks, and I hired a freelancer to make them all. Like I haven't made any of them. Now we have a studio, we make originals. We have another artist we call Streambeats Originals. We do collaborations, and we built a studio. But the majority of the library is commissioned. And you buy not only large chunks of music, you have to vet them. There's a whole process behind it. It's much more complicated than I'm making it sound. But no, we just hire talented people to make large lump sums of music that we go through the effort of making them safe to use on YouTube and Twitch as much as we can.
No, dude, that's so cool. And so I think the principle I want people to pull from this conversation is just how you have a pulse on your community. Understanding their needs and their problems, and then creating something for their problem, a solution. But like, what would you say, if you're talking to other creators, how can they have a pulse on their community like you do?
In my opinion, the best way to be able to see opportunities and know what holes can be filled are to develop as much of a skill in that area as you can. So I started on YouTube as a musician with my wife. We actually started on Vine, moved to YouTube. I mean, we did a whole 30 show tour across the United States and Canada. That's wild. On a bus and everything. It was a dream.
And you would say Vine and kind of YouTube was the catapult.
That's where we started. Yeah. We had a Vine go viral, and that's what started everything. And we were music YouTubers for a couple of years. And then as I moved over to the streaming area, I learned a lot of the needs of that community and how that whole industry worked. And so my combined, I don't want to say the word expertise because I don't think I'm necessarily an expert at anything, but my combined knowledge of music and streaming is what opens, this is going to be cliche, opened my eyes to like, oh, there's an opportunity here. Yeah. Like I've gotten a copyright strike on YouTube before. We got a copyright strike from Warner Brothers years ago. And now I'm over here on YouTube or on Twitch, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna happen. Like Twitch is now at the place where a record label started paying attention to YouTube years ago. It's now getting to that same spot. This is gonna happen because I have that experience. And so you get a lot of people, like I think content creators are the next big entrepreneurs of the world. These are people that have had to hustle from nothing and build it from nothing. I mean, if anyone knows the hustle of an entrepreneur, it's a content creator. But I think you get a lot of people trying to be entrepreneurs without actually developing themselves first. I think if you want to see the opportunities, the business opportunities that exist there, they're all there.
Right.
You need to develop yourself first. You need to develop an expertise. You need to understand an industry better than anyone else. Because while my experience with Streambeats had a lot of luck involved, like I got that product out 2 months before the giant DMCA wave.
Yeah.
Like I lucked out there. If I'd been 2 months later, nothing would have succeeded.
Wave?
the DMCA wave. There was a massive DMCA wave. Like thousands of DMCA strikes happened in a single day.
Oh, wow.
On Twitch. And I got my music out 2 months before it.
Dang.
And so there was certainly luck involved. I was in the right place at the right time.
Market timing.
But I was the only one in the right place at the right time because I was the only one on Twitch that also had a serious background in music.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
that's what interests me when we're talking about your story and you're like, oh no, originally it was music. I was like, oh, okay, there's some background there. So yeah, there's weight to whatever it is that you created. It's something that was just always stirred and the skill sets and stuff.
And my fascination lately has been in animation. I mean, I think that's going to be another massive wave of content. It's, 10 years ago, everyone was learning how to edit and it was kind of this elusive thing. How do you edit a video? Nobody knows. Now anybody can edit a video. There's free software out there that's amazing.
Yeah.
And the next big jump of artistry, of film artistry, is animation and VFX. That I think is going to become, the barrier of entry is going to really lower. And I really want to get into like 3D character animation. So I started an animation studio, and now we're looking at like, okay, well, what's the combination of animation and gaming, and animation in the gaming community? What business opportunities are there? And we've got one. I'm so
that's
pumped.
awesome,
dude. I'm so pumped about it. I can't talk about it, but I'm really pumped about it.
But like just practically speaking, how would a YouTuber use Stream Beats on their videos?
Oh, so we have all of our music on all the streaming platforms. So it's on Spotify, Apple Music, whatever. And if you just want to hit play, like that works. That's how streamers use it. They'll just hit play and listen to it for 5 hours. We got all the genres listed in playlists and everything. But if you go to streambeats.com, you can also just download the tracks for free.
Boom.
Like it goes to it goes to Google Drive.
That's cool.
Yeah, we pay extra to make our stuff easy to download for free. And so it's just there. You just download it.
That's cool. Streambeats.com. And then let's just talk about like if you feel comfortable, and I think you've done it in the video, but like the numbers. Mm-hmm. Like when it comes to because what you're hacking with your music is, listen time. So people are streaming for hours on end, and you're just getting played, and you're getting more streams than Drizzy Drake. Who knows? And I'm just kidding. But no, like, what would you say that all maps out, like, based on the streams, and then how much that's actually bringing in now, based off of when you started it to where it is now?
We get anywhere from 400,000 to 500,000 streams a day. There was actually, can I toot my own horn for a second? Talk about something that, like, again, it was kind of an accident, but it turned out to be awesome. As I was hiring these musicians to make music, these freelancers, they're like, okay, cool. For this rate, I can give you a 3-minute song. It's like, okay, that's cool. Can you make it a 2-minute song? Which sounds like less music, but we get paid per play. Right. And so by having them lower it from 3 minutes down to 2 minutes, now we get 50% more listens and 50% more revenue. And so just lowering the songs, because people throw on a playlist and they'll listen to it for 5 hours while they stream. And so 5 hours can either be, oh geez, I don't want to do quick math. It can be this number of songs, or it can be this number of songs times 1.5, which is what happens when you lower it down to 2 minutes. So we'll get about 400,000 to 500,000 streams a day. And they pay out about a third of a penny on average across all the platforms. We'll make about a third of a penny per play. Mm-hmm. So that adds up. I want to say right now, Stream Beats makes $50K a month. And
that's awesome.
Very little overhead.
Right. Dude, and you're going to pour gasoline into that fire. So making about $50K per month, you've seen the opportunity and see what you can do with that. And so just to kind of like go to where you are currently, you're currently building out a studio that you're
built
investing.
Built
out a studio.
Yeah.
That you told me you're investing a lot of money. You said $500,000 in.
Oh, the studio. Oh, I thought you were talking about the entire like film studio downstairs. A recording studio probably costs about $150K.
Okay, but yeah, so you're putting your money where your mouth is. But I think the principle here is just to show you the possibility of when you take your experiences and you have a pulse on your community that you're serving, and figuring out their needs and how you could serve them at a high level. But like, what part was there any part of it that was scary, that in regards to like doing something that maybe you didn't know how it would work or what have you, or were you like so confident that it was just going to be?
Every part's scary. Every part's always scary. Risk mitigation is always a big thing. You only, as long as you only risk what you're willing to lose, you'll be okay. And it is always scary. I remember sitting in bed as I was trying to expand out beyond lo-fi to EDM, start some more playlists. And I was sitting in bed with my wife, and we had commissioned this person. He was going to make us 60 tracks. And there was like a buy now button, and it was going to be like $6,000. And my wife was like, I don't want to push this button. Are you sure I pushed this button? I said, push the button. And I just pushed the button and bought 60 more tracks, and we're talking like $100 a track, buying 60 of them at a time. And yeah, because you never know. Like, this was before it started making a lot of money. Who knows? Maybe we're dropping. I think we dropped $50K before we ever started actually making a profit. Wow. And that's terrifying. It doesn't matter who you are.
Right.
Yeah, that's terrifying. But you only risk what you're willing to lose. And the best way to mitigate risk is to educate yourself. You know, if I were to go into a poker tournament and a poker pro were to go into a poker tournament, technically the risk is the same between we're both going and doing the same thing. I'm risking a lot more because I've never played a game of poker in my life. He's probably going to win. So learn, educate yourself, develop skills. That is the best way to lower risk.
Dude, love it. Thank you so much. And where can people find you? And you just plug your stuff for a little bit, and we'll be sure to plug it down in the description as well. But
at Harris Heller on everything. I would say look up youtube.com/senpai. But I'm really I need a year of soul searching, and I want to develop more skills. I'm doing that on youtube.com/Harris Heller. So starting up that channel this year.
Let's go. Thank you so much.
Thanks, man.